Most people don't like to be interrupted. As a matter of fact, most of us view an interruption as an inconvenience. However, when I study and think about the life of Jesus, his life and his ministry, it seems like that he was constantly being interrupted. But yet he never viewed the interruption as an inconvenience. He viewed it as an opportunity. I can think about several times in passage when I can recall what I'm talking about. One was when he was getting out of a boat and Jairus, the ruler of the synagogue, came to him and said, "My daughter is sick, and if you come touch her, she'd be made well." But on the way, a woman touched him the hem of his garment. She was made well, a woman with the issue of blood. You know the story. He turned around and said, "Who touched me?" His disciples said, "Everyone's touching you." And he said, "This was different." And he turned around and the woman told him her whole story. But he stops and says, "Daughter, your faith has made you well." I don't know about you, but sometimes when I'm interrupted and it's an inconvenience, I'm not so kind, I'm not so compassionate, I'm not so gracious. But Jesus affectionately called her daughter. There was another time where Jesus was teaching and some friends decided to cut the roof open and lower their friend to him, and they did. And Jesus stopped and had compassion on him and healed him and commended the friends for what they had done. The crowd said, "We'd never seen anything like it." Again, Jesus was interrupted right in the middle of his teaching. The roof was cut open, a friend was lowered through, but he didn't see it as an inconvenience. He saw it as an opportunity. There was another time where Jesus was asleep on the boat. I know. Being interrupted when you're saying something and someone's talking, that's one thing, but then being interrupted when you're sleeping, that's another thing. Jesus was asleep on the boat and the disciples said, "We're perishing, Master, don't you care?" And they woke him from his sleep and he arose and calmed the winds and the sea. And they said, "Wow, even the winds and waves obey him." That is part of the foundation of our Christian faith. One of the things that we can say that we serve a God that even the winds and waves obey him. What if they wouldn't have interrupted him? What if Jesus would have said, "Let me sleep"? But Jesus never viewed an interruption as an inconvenience. What would happen if you and I would not see an interruption as an inconvenience, but would see it as an opportunity?